what is your niche, right? You might get into whatever. He said, I'm going to tell you something that you guys haven't been paying attention to. Remember, this is February of 20. And you can go back and listen to Expert Mentor. This conversation was a great call. And he goes, one of my niches right now would be pre-foreclosures. He said, because most of you aren't aware that pre-foreclosures are on the rise. We obviously know what happened in March. And so think about that. All the people that took the deferment, that took the 12 and took the other 12. There's people that haven't made a mortgage payment in 2 years. And so Stuman was just kind of breaking all this down. And he said, you're going to see, and he was talking about where the next investment opportunity is, right? Where the next big opportunity is. And he said, man, because he's played everything, right? Crypto, he's, bought NFTs, he's, just everything, right? Stock market, just everything. Cars, watches, just he has money everywhere. And he said, man, I'm going to tell you what the number one thing is. And he said, the number one thing is that understanding that so many of these people that haven't made a mortgage payment have a ridiculous interest rate that we may never see again. Think about it. How many of those people pre-pandemic, or even refied at the beginning of it, had locked in at a ridiculous rate, 5% or below? I mean, do you think we'll get back to 5% or below? If we do, how long will it be? And so this is what he was saying is, like, he said the game is going to be catching the pre-foreclosures and doing contract for deed. So for those of you, one, looking for investment opportunities yourself, that's an angle. Or if you have investors, and remember, that's how we started out, right? We weren't the investor. We helped an investor. And then the investor was like, man, I feel like if we partnered on these deals, you would be a little more excited to go find deals, which was true. And then we ended up becoming our own investor. But what Stuman was talking about, and it comes back down to, the whole point is that if we choose to work, there is no recession, right? If you choose to work, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. If you choose to work, if you choose to believe the garbage, the noise, the hype, then you're going to fall victim to it. And you're going to blame it on, oh, we're just in a recession. And it's just not true. So I'll give you some other things that he said in just a second. Essentially, he was saying just recession is bullshit. That's essentially what he was getting around to. And it just comes down to, innovation and hard work. And Jay Abraham really banged this into our heads, is that all innovation is just the continuation of adding value. That's how you innovate, is just keep adding value. So keep adding value. And I know, we've been talking about business model this month and just kind of continuing to iterate and tweak. How can I continuously add value, right? What is my value? How do I, create, deliver, capture, monetize? What is that value? But, it was just interesting thinking it from an investment point of view and possible niche for all of us playing the real estate game is being able to catch these pre-foreclosures before they get too far down. Because he said, think about it. They're going to have to sell. If they do have some equity, that's great, but they're going to have to still settle up their debt if they can even get it refied. But here's the thing, right? They're going to have to roll it into a new refi package, and then they're going to get hit at what rates. So it's just a different, interesting game that's starting to come around. And it's like, where's the opportunity? And within real estate, man, there's going to be opportunities there. And that comes down to being creative, constantly innovating. Where's the opportunity? How can I take advantage of this? Where's the angle here? And, people are going to be in a bind. That's why he was like, man, just getting really understanding the contract for deed. And I was talking with Stace about this a couple months ago, and he was kind of bringing that up. Even a couple months ago was talking about it and understanding that language, because you don't want to go and buy it and then refi it, because at what rate are you going to get locked in? You're going to get probably double to double and a half of what those possible loans that are out there, right? Think about it. Over 50% of the homes have ridiculous interest rates that we will never see again. Or if we do see again, it'll be 20 years from now. So just be thinking about that, where that opportunity, and you don't have to traditionally, well, let me help you out. Let me buy it and then I'll refi it into myself. You don't have to do that, right? There's other ways to play the game. So that's what he was really talking about. Just staying innovative at what we're always doing. And then he said too, on the flip side, the business side of things, there's going to be opportunities coming available with businesses. And so you look at complementary businesses to what we do that are going to be coming available. And let me give you guys an interesting statistic. 595,000 businesses close each year. And there are 50 million baby boomers retiring. 12 million of them own businesses. So that's 420,000 a year over the next 10 years. This is over the next 10 years. And this is why you can make the argument it's better to buy than build, because startups, there's a 90% failure rate. And so 595,000 businesses close each year because of money, retirement, relocation, burnout, health, shiny objects, partner's death, or just kind of upcycling. So there's going to be opportunities there as these businesses start to struggle. Most of you guys know Kyle Davis. Kyle, over the weekend, picked up a commercial property opportunity because the business they were going out of business. They were in a bind. So there's going to be opportunities there, and just be thinking about that, right? So if you're in a position, or if you can align strategically, and that'll be one of the things we talk about in business model, but being able to check that out, and we'll jump into there. But I just want to end with this, is that don't, and I posted this on the story, don't believe the narrative. And, within Apex, and I can say it to you guys because it's the same, right? We are the leaders. You wouldn't be on this call if you weren't a leader in your community, in your organization, like you really weren't trying to have a greater impact. And that's what he was saying is, man, it's like, they're just dropping, the scarcity marketing on us is what the media is doing. And so his whole thing was, don't believe the narrative. You have to believe in yourself. And that we are the leaders. And so remember that you are leading within your families, you're leading within your teams, you're leading within your community. So don't believe the narrative that's being fed. And there was a gentleman on there that said he works with super, super high net worth individuals, like some of the Saudi princes and stuff like that. And one of his high-end clients said, here's the thing, man, all a recession equals 10% economics, 90% propaganda. Don't get caught up in the propaganda. And honestly, I joked this morning on the leaders call that last time I had the news on was when it played in our office in Lawton, Oklahoma. I haven't been in that office for 10 years. So I don't consume any of that. We all have a choice what we choose to put into our heads. And so just be aware of where the opportunities are. Don't buy into the noise, the scarcity market. Remember, media is in business. They're in the business to make money. And there's scarcity tactics, scarcity marketing. They sell fear. So don't fall into that. And just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it was really good. It was really powerful. So, all right, let's really jump into continue this conversation as we wrap up the month here, the month of July. We've been talking business model, and I think even kind of what was shared there about strategic alliances and partnerships and things like that, I think will play out as we dive into the final components of business model that we've been talking about. I want to remind you guys, man, make sure you guys stay plugged in. I know I'm starting to see more and more of your faces on a bunch of the different calls. stay plugged into the Facebook group, help us build that community. Obviously the members area, always dropping all of the recordings. We're putting everything in there. Our Thursday, Ask Me Anything Questions with Coach call. That's at 6 p.m. Central on Thursdays. That's a fantastic call. Definitely well worth, your time to be able to jump on. We do have our monthly mastermind call, which is actually this Friday, 2 p.m. Central. So lock that in if you can. It's fun for whoever shows up. We go mastermind style. Hey, what's the biggest rock in your shoe? Whoever's on, we go, boom. Then we go to solve it. We go rapid fire style for 60 minutes. It's a great call as well, especially if you're wrestling or if you're stuck with anything. So make sure you have that. Make sure you guys are tuning into the podcast. I wish my man Sam was on. I know he's listening to every damn episode of the podcast. I appreciate him so much. What's awesome is the team reports every Monday what our downloads for the week, and consistently going up. We had our best week ever last week, almost 800 downloads, and so it's just gradually gaining some traction. So if you guys are tuning in, I appreciate that. And then obviously anything on the YouTube channel, and of course these Monday growth calls. All right, let's recap model conversation that we've really had so far this month, and let's remember, business model really is just the rationale, the reasoning of, the why of how our organization creates, delivers, and captures value. It's all you've got to be thinking about, right? How do we create? How do we deliver? How do we capture value? Obviously, there's these other components that go into it, and those are kind of those 9 building blocks. Well, over this month, and if you haven't been able to catch these calls, the recorded calls are loaded up in the members area. If you need help finding them, reach out to Z. She'll get you plugged in. Make sure you know exactly where these calls are. Well, our first call this month was around the number one thing, which was client segments. So who are the segments within your business? Sellers, buyers, investors, real estate agents, right? Who are the clients, the segmentation within your business? And, Cass, they have the iconic, shared office space. So, they're looking for tenants to come in there, right? That's part of their client segment. You have what we talked about the following week, which was, what is our value proposition to those clients? Essentially, our clients identified what problems do they have and what value does our business help solve? How do we help them solve their problems? And ideally, we're helping them solve bigger problems. Bigger problems equal bigger money. Then we talked about channels, meaning how are we getting that message out to our clients that we want to focus on? And where do they hang out? Where are the clients at right now? And so that helps us identify where those channels need to go. Last week, we talked about the relationships that we're having. So what are those client relationships that we're having with our client segment? We also talked about the revenue streams. Okay. What are all the revenue streams that we're able to capture from our client segment? And then what are the key resources that we have to deliver the value? So it's a way to think about it, right? What are the resources we need to have? And so that's going to take us into the final 3 things of the 9 building blocks within our business model. And it's key activities, key partnerships, and then cost structure. So we'll break that. We'll break each of those down. All right. So key activities. So what are the key activities are required to deliver the value, right? What are they? And for most of us, it's really going to be around how do we deliver our service to the clients? Like what are those activities that we must take? And I would almost relate the key activities to like the key performance indicators. Like what are the key things within our control that we have to do on a daily basis to be able to deliver the value and keep our promise to those key segments. So everything has a key activity, and obviously every business is different. So we want to really think through what are those KPIs, what are those key resources that are going to deliver the results that we need for our business to continue to thrive.